What's up? Hey, hello, everyone. Wow, we are here today doing our season 33 cast assessment. Last time we did our season 34 cast assessment, and wow, this is so crazy because it is actually our first across the country podcast. So, Alyssa and I are moving into college. You can see the background is different. So, right now I'm in California, and Alyssa is in Maryland. So my name is Rachel.
And I'm Alyssa, and we're really excited to get to share this whole experience with you guys for another season of Survivor. So let's get started. We're going to start by saying like our overall cast reaction, so what we think about the cast as a whole, and then we're going to be moving into what we think of like specific people.
Yeah, so I mean overall, there are a ton of people from like the California area, which is really interesting. A lot of people are from LA or like live in California, so that could be something that the contestants bond over. I feel like it's like if you're from California, you already have something in common.
I feel like California, it's just like very densely populated, especially for millennials who are looking for like jobs in the tech industry. I feel like Survivor has like a disproportionate amount of players from California.
Yeah, that's true. I feel that. And a lot, yeah, you're right. A lot of people do move to California, and it's such a large state. So, I mean, we'll see if that has like any role because you see in the past, like people bond over like their hometowns and whatnot. So, for the contestants. And a lot of people also in their like cast bios on Survivor Wiki, they said that their mom was their inspiration, which was really interesting because a lot of people said that.
I feel like that's one of those things where people feel like they have to say it. Like if you say that you're like someone other than your mom is your inspiration, people are just like, so.
Well, people put Jesus and stuff on there and some really weird things. So it ranges, and it was really interesting. I feel like that not like nobody said that they're like the Survivor contestant that they were most like would be Parvati, Boston Rob, or Russell Hantz. There was maybe one Russell Hantz, but there was like no Parvatis, which is really interesting because last season, like every single dang person on that freaking island put Parvati on their like bio thing.
I wonder if that shows that like she's becoming less relevant or just that people are actually watching Survivor more before going on to the show. Because like if you have a greater Survivor literacy, I feel like you don't feel like you have to say Parvati or whatever, but if you're not as familiar with Survivor, you just fall back on one of the like more well-known names.
Yeah, that's true. I feel that because like Parvati, Boston Rob, Russell Hantz, those are like three like really popular characters they've played so many times, and like even if you don't watch like Survivor religiously, ha ha ha, like you probably have heard of those people.
Yeah. So other than that, I feel like this cast was kind of designed to promote the stereotypes that they're going for like millennials versus Gen X, with like millennials being like super out there and crazy and hippy dippy and stuff. That could just be me.
Yeah, I think like a lot of people for like the what it means to be a millennial question all said like the same kind of thing, like and then all of the people for the Gen X was like, we have to work to get what we want. Like, you don't just get the participation medal. Like, we had a lot of hard work and like a hard upbringing. And like all the millennials were like, yo, we're so free. We can do whatever we want. And like, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so should we start with the millennials?
Yes, start with the millennials. So first,
alphabetical order. We have Adam from San Francisco, California. He is 25 and a homeless shelter manager.
I feel like that's just a great way to get, like, not pity votes, but, like, kind of pity votes. Like, I want to do this so that I can help expand my homeless shelter. Like, that's a perfect thing to say if I'm a tribal man.
Yeah, that's true. This dude is like very attractive. He went to Stanford, and I feel like he would be benefited if he lied about where he went to school, because if you say Stanford, everyone's going to be like, oh, you know, you were probably like really smart to get into such a school. So I feel like Malcolm did, you lie about going. Malcolm went to an Ivy League school, but he lied about going to an Ivy League school. So like you don't look as smart as you really are, you know?
I feel like it would benefit him not to lie, but to omit. Like,
Yeah.
Sydney never really talked about where she went to school, but she went to a really good school. And I feel like if he were to be discovered in that lie for some reason, like if for the family visit, his like college roommate came wearing a Stanford sweatshirt or something, that would suck. But like,
you're like, I don't know.
Unless you like choose to like talk about your schooling and stuff, I feel like that's one of those things where you can be like, oh, I just went to a college on the West Coast, and people will be like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I feel like a talking point for the millennials would be like, where did you go to school, you know, where did you grow up, because all these kids are like really young. They're like right out of college or in college, you know, so school would be something that they would all have in common, and like they could talk about college and like have something in common with that. And
Unless
you know,
one of them was like a dropout or something.
Will Wall. So I feel like Adam, I don't know, he talks like really fast, and it might just be like nerves or something, but in his like YouTube video, it was sort of really hectic the way he was talking. But I think he's like a quirky nerd. He's like really smart seeming, but like, I don't know, he could be cocky or come off as cocky around like dumber people, since he probably is really smart. So
Yeah,
I don't know,
feel
that could
like
be like seen as arrogance.
his energy, I feel like, is really good just because you need some of that to be able to get through 30 days or 40 days, I guess, on a deserted island. But like, and Tony was one of the most effective survivor winners ever, and he was all like, all the time, so.
Yeah, and Adam also wrote in his bio that he was most like Spencer Bledsoe, and I was like, dang, before I even read that, I was thinking like, yo, this kid looks like Spencer, and like they're both smart, they went to good schools, and they don't look crazy athletic, like they sort of have dad bods, but they could be really athletic. So I think him choosing Spencer as like his most same survivor contestant is like really spot on.
Yeah, I feel like it's good when people are self-aware like that, like when they're able to say, like, I would love to be able to be a Russell Hantz, but I know that, like, with who I am, I wouldn't be able to do that. And especially since, like, millennials get targeted for being, like, vain or self-centered, I think that it's good to show that, like, sometimes thinking about yourself isn't always a bad thing.
Yeah, and I feel like Adam just like reminds me of us. He's like really into the show, you know, he really wanted to go out there. So I don't know. I really like Adam. I feel like he'll at least make the merge.
I feel like he has a good chance of making the merge as long as he doesn't come off as too arrogant, like you said.
Yeah, like he's an attractive dude. Like I think he can at least make the merge, and if not further, because he's like smart and strategic, and I think he said he was good at puzzles maybe, so that can be helpful. He's not going to be voted off like the first one, because he seems like athletic, he can carry his own, and he'll like help the team out.
Yeah.
Yes. So next we have Hannah. She is 24 from Hollywood, California, and she is a barista. And also, I think, is she like in a improv group?
Comedian.
Yeah. So yeah, you can start.
Again, I feel like this is such like a stereotype, like struggling artist tries to pursue their passion in Hollywood by surviving on minimum wage as a barista. I just like, I feel like she definitely would have good people skills if she was a barista, because like you can't make your money by talking to people and not be good at it. But I'm not sure like what else would be going for her, really.
Okay, yeah, low key, I was feeling the same way. Like, if you're a barista or like in improv or comedy, like you have to be personable, like to be in that job. You have to be funny and like a comedian. Hopefully there isn't too much like background sound because I'm near a window and there's like stuff going on outside. But I don't know. I think Hannah is just like really quirky, like maybe on the borderline of just plain out weird. Like she talks really fast, which sort of could be annoying for some people. And then I don't know, in like her stuff, she's like, I'm scared of the dark, scared of like bugs, and then bigger existential things.
I mean, the last time we thought that someone was going to be too weird, I'm talking about
It was
Michelle.
Aubrey.
No, we said that Michelle was going to get voted off of Biggie because she said her idol was Harry Potter, and then she goes on and wins the freaking game.
True, yeah.
But
oh man, yeah. Okay, yeah.
A major in film studies. Hannah did. She got her major in film studies. And I feel like that's just like one of those things that you pull out at parties to make people think that you're interesting.
True, yeah.
Like I feel like she could come off as like really snobbish.
But the way she talks?
Just like with the subject matter that she's familiar with. Like, you know that there are those people who are like, oh yes, this movie.
Yeah. People that like go way to be sort of awkward and to like, I mean, we do that. In her interview and bio, she wrote about like middle school, like, you know, you're a couple years out of those things, you know, you should probably talk about college or something else interesting that's happening in your life and not be like living in the past so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. She says she's like Cochran, and like maybe I can see this because both of them are like nerdy and like, you know, look like they won't fit into a group. But like I think she could do the Cochran thing if she plays it right. Like they both don't seem like that athletic, but Cochran did athletic the second time he went out. But I don't know. I see Hannah more as like a Shireen or Audrey.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Hannah could be voted out early because I feel like she's going to talk too much, and I don't know. Just from watching her interview and stuff, I'm a little scarred.
Yeah, I agree that she could be one of the ones to get out early.
Yeah, especially if she's not that athletic. Like, she won't add much to the team, so I feel like that could be out early before the merge. How about you?
Yeah, I think I agree with that. She's not going to make the merge.
Ooh, Gooch, we're on the same page. Okay, next we have Biggie, who is 23 and from Nashville, Tennessee, and she is a bartender. And, you know, from her bio and stuff, she says she's half Puerto Rican, which I was like, okay, you know, she can be really feisty out on the island, and that could be, like, a lot of drama or, like, just bring people in, because if you're more personable, like, more people are going to be, like, attracted to you and want to talk to you and want to work with you.
She has really pretty eyes. Like, when I look at the picture, I'm like, oh, yeah, she has nice eyes. I feel like all of the millennials have such stereotypical millennial jobs, though. Like bartender, barista, come on.
Pro gamer, yeah. I mean, Biggie played a lot of sports. She said she played softball, volleyball, basketball, and tennis. So hopefully she was, like, halfway decent at playing sports and just, like, wasn't the type that just signed up for everything and like was on like the loser team of everything. So if she was actually good at the sports, then, you know, she can succeed and be athletic on the island, I feel like.
Yeah, but I feel like it's one of those things where especially girls in Survivor definitely have to balance out being like athletic with being smart, because you don't want to be that like that person who no one sees as a threat because you don't have strategy because you win so much, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like a Joe or something. Like, if you just keep winning and you never actually, like, have to strategize.
Yeah, then that can, like, really kick you in the butt, especially if it's, like, final tribal and they're like, so what are the moves that you made?
Yeah. And in her stuff, she kept saying that she's not just another pretty face. Like, you know, she can strategize, she's athletic. But I don't know, she just doesn't really stand out to me.
Yeah, I feel like she's one of those, like, middle-of-the-pack people, like, she might make it to the merge, she might not, and then if she does make it to the merge, she'll probably be like the first or second person voted out from the merge tribe.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, she doesn't really stand out. I mean, I don't know. She'd probably just fall into the background of the editing and whatnot, and then she's gonna be gone, and then we'll be like, oh, okay. And she says she might flirt with the other competitors because she's single, and I don't know. That could be a strategy. She's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. She doesn't really stand out, and I didn't really write much down for her because she didn't really stand out.
I mean, just the fact that she has a nickname, that's interesting. Like,
That's
she goes by
true, but she
Sticky
gave
and
herself,
not by Jessica.
yeah, she gave herself that nickname, so, or like from whatever it came from. You gotta let Jeff Probst give you a nickname. You can't be bringing nicknames in. Okay, so next we have Jay, who is 27 from Florida and a real estate agent, but he also used to bartend. So that is like 3 people that worked in bars so far.
Well, he's like on the older end of the millennials, I think, because he's 27. And
Mm-hmm.
he's the first one that we've talked about so far that has like a normal job.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I feel like with like the older millennials, like with the more normal jobs, like it might be easier for them, like once the tribes like
merch.
merge or like a tribe swap or something, to be able to connect with the older people because they have a quote unquote real job, they have more life experience. And then it's less so of like the millennials versus Gen X, but like middle-aged people that can all like work together.
Yeah. Fun fact about him, he was one of the alternates for Korong, so like if one of the people that we had seen last season hadn't been able to participate for whatever reason, we would have seen him last season.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Jay gives me like the really beachy vibes, and he looks like the legit Tarzan, not the Tarzan from Survivor, but like the legit Tarzan, or like maybe Ozzy he looks like. And like I'm getting that kind of vibe, and he
He has
like
a
does a lot
man
of
bun,
sports.
so I feel like he's definitely like a Joe type person.
Yeah, he looks like it. He seems very flirty, and like he says he's going to compliment the boys and the girls. So I don't know. That can sort of be good or bad because he could come off like as like a douche, or he could just be like, you have to have the right amount of flirty.
Yeah.
Oh, and then red flag, red flag. When he says he's most like Russell Hantz and Woo, I was like, what the hell? Sense those 2 people don't even go together. Like, I almost died.
Willie's one of the, okay, no offense to him, but he's like the stupidest player ever because he had the chance to decide who he'd take with him to the final 2, and he chose the wrong person.
Yeah, I mean, that's like that's a big mistake. He was sort of better in second chance. Like he actually tried to fight for it and then he got voted out kind of early, but like Russell Hantz and Wu together, like Russell Hantz found immunity idols without clues and he was the first one to do that. He literally like did so much stuff on the island and then he's never won. People are sort of bitter, and then like he didn't have that people aspects, and Wu is just like, I don't even
Okay.
know, you can't put these 2 on the same level.
I legitimately forgot that Wu was even in second chance, so I feel like that speaks to how, like, forgettable of a player he is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Jay, what are you thinking, man? I feel like Jay could be a middle of the pack kind of person. They might try to get him out before the merge because if he is athletic, they don't want him after the merge to be winning immunities. Or he could be an early merge boot because of like the athleticism or something. Or Jay could just be really annoying and douchey on the island.
There's, like, so many ways that it could go with him. I just feel like that we have not gotten enough information yet.
Yeah, I feel that for a lot of these people. Like we don't know enough. Okay, so next we have Mari. She is 31 from LA, California, and she is a pro gamer. And literally, I really, 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 really like her.
Okay, she's a pro gamer who's also a ballerina. She's, like, kick ass.
Yo, right? She's literally a professional ballerina turned YouTuber and gamer. And I'm like, holy crap, you know, she could be like Kenny from Gabon, who is really good at like, since he was a professional gamer, you know, you just have that sort of mindset of like, everything is a game, this is strategy. Like, she's gonna rock it.
And ballerinas are like really physically fit and stuff
Yeah.
because obviously ballet is not an easy thing. So I feel like she's gonna have like the perfect coupling of brains and like the strength to make it happen.
Yeah, and
So
she's like, she has looks also. So like she's literally like all three things. And I feel like with her ballerina stuff, she can stand on like poles and stuff for a really long time. Like she has discipline because ballet is like a disciplined sport. And just like gaming, she doesn't even look like a gamer. So she could sort of lie and say like she's not a gamer. She could just be like, oh, yo, I'm a pro ballerina. And then no one would know. And she could just be like, OP out there, you know? She just seems so cool.
I feel like she's one of like ballet is the kind of thing where if you're like, oh, I'm a pro ballerina, I feel like a lot of people would immediately not take you seriously because most people who aren't dancers or aren't friends with dancers don't realize like how disciplined and how strong you have to be to like make it in the ballet world. So I feel like she
That's
could
true.
come from behind there.
Yeah, I feel like people would like underestimate her if they don't really see like that she's super smart and strategic. And like she's saying Survivor is a game, you know, she is super passionate about it, which is so great. And then she also says that she's like Yule from Cook Islands, and that's a new one. I don't think I've seen someone say that they were like Yule in a long time. So like I like that. That is A1.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting because like people like to compare themselves to the winners as much as possible because they like to be like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna win. Which is why I think it's interesting that people are always comparing themselves to Russell Hance because at least Parvati and Boston Rob have at least won the game of Survivor. To me, it feels kind of stupid to like compare yourself to someone who is notorious for not winning and notorious for being bitter about it.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, like, Yule won one time and then he hasn't come back yet. Like, I like it. Like, this girl is, like, perfect for the game. She is quirky and athletic. She climbs Mount Kilimanjaro. Like, man, I want this girl on my Prophecy Point team.
I will fight you for it.
No, I'm about to get this top Prophecy Point pick spot.
No, I feel like it should go the person in second place gets to go first, which is me. So
No,
yeah.
we're going to do a random number generator to pick this order.
Speaking of prophecy point teams, we're going to be doing that next week, and we're still not exactly sure who our third guest star is going to be for our computer team. So it'll be a surprise.
Yay! So, dang, we're not even like halfway through. Next is Michaela. She is 25 and she does Texas Vacation Club sales. And, you know, Michaela seems like a hardcore girl. She says she grew up without air conditioning, cable, and like she didn't even realize like she didn't have this stuff. And like she seems very like willing to fight for what she wants. Like she's dedicated. She's willing to work for what she has in life.
Okay, she like looks to me like she could be related to Gabby Douglas. Is that just me? Like she looks like if she pulled her hair back, she'd look exactly like Gabby Douglas.
Yo, actually though, I can sort of see it. Like she could legit do that.
Random comment. But her occupation is vacation club sales. I'm not really sure
Yeah.
what that means.
Yeah, I
But
don't really know.
she got her bachelor's in public relations and communication. So basically, she's going to be hella good at communicating with people because she literally went to college to learn how to do it.
Yeah, I think Michaela had a really good response to the millennial question, and like she wasn't basic like everyone else. Everyone else basically said the same kind of stereotypical millennial answer, and like this girl said something unique. And she said she saved a lot of money for like her college, to pay for college, and she's like worked throughout college while studying. So I don't know, Michaela seems really good, and not just, we can't spoil season 34, but I think Michaela will go far, or at least make some kind of big move or something this season that makes her memorable.
I feel like her greatest downfall is going to be like her age, because she is on the younger end of the spectrum. So.
Mm-hmm. But like she says, she's a mixture of Tasha, Kelly, and Natalie, and I was like, those are a nice pick of three people. Legit, those are three fierce females. Natalie won the game. Kelly Wentworth is like OP. Tasha's OP. I think Michaela knows what she's doing.
I feel like her like little picture thing just says it all. Like she looks like she came here to slay. And I'm really excited to see what she does.
Yeah, I feel like she's going to be really good, and I feel like a lot of people have like stereotypes for people.
Yeah. I feel like if she can twist those stereotypes to like her advantage, then she might be able to do well. Same thing with Mari, where like there's a lot of stereotypes for Asian girls and stuff.
So. Yeah, I feel that. I'm glad that Survivor is somewhat getting more diversity now. They have like us like white people on the island. And they have like,
there's still quite a few white people, but we're getting better.
That's true. It's getting better, but it still has a ways to go. So next we have Michelle. She is 27 from Washington and a missionary recruiter. And from this season, there are a hella amount of people that are very religious.
I feel like that's just going to end up being really, really, like, awkward, because, like, that's one of those things where, like, they don't really like to talk about it on Survivor, I don't feel like, about being religious and stuff. And it's also, like, there's potential for a lot of conflict, just because religion is one of those topics that can get people really fired up.
Yeah, I really feel that. There are like 4 people that are like openly like saying their religion in like their bios and interviews, and I feel like, I don't know, that could like sort of get old after a while if you're stuck on the island and like all these people only talk about like religion and stuff like that. So I feel like, I don't know, at least for Michelle, she seemed like the most like into it, and like she talked in her whole YouTube interview, she talked about her role in the church, and I don't know, I just feel like they need to like turn it down.
Yeah, I don't think that Michelle is going to be able to get very far, because like you don't want to be around the people who are like preaching to you all the time. And I feel like it's going to be one of those things where like every time they win, she's going to be like, God is good. And every time they lose, she's going to be like, it wasn't in God's plan or whatever. And it's like, when you're feeling sucky, you don't want to hear about God's plan. And when you're feeling great, you don't want to be like, God did this for me, just because, especially if it's not your religion, then it gets old.
Yeah, if they're trying to like push it down people's throats, or like, everyone's going to be tired and starving, like if they're trying to push it down their throat and be like, everyone let's go and do like some kind of thing right now all together in order to, have good luck for the challenge, or, get more food or whatever, then like people are going to get, people are going to get old of that real quick, because I'm not trying to be like woken up like in the morning when we're all tired to go like do some group activity together. So, and I feel like these like really churchy people are going to annoy Jay, because Jay was like, I hate when people like try to push religion down my throat. So that could be pretty interesting, and that should be funny.
I feel like there could also be a conflict if like any of them are gay, just because like there's been a lot of conflict between the church and basically like every minority group. but especially gay people.
So you think conflict between like all of them and like Zeke or someone?
It's someone who's gay, yeah.
Did Zeke say?
I
I
don't
think.
think did he?
I don't know. I
I'm
didn't.
checking his bio now.
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
She
he's
said.
part of a gay all-male improv team, so I think he's gay.
Yeah. Michelle says that she has a boyfriend, but she's going to lie and flirt with the other contestants still. And I mean,
Girl,
that's good. Like, it can get you further in the game, but it's like I feel like I don't know, that just sort of goes like against like if you have a boyfriend, why are you flirting with other people?
I feel like that's going to destroy her relationship.
Yeah,
Anyways,
like I don't know. Yeah, her bio did have more substance, like the written stuff. She said she ran track and like won state track championships. Like I don't know. She seems interesting. She said her pet peeve is when the windshield wipers are on a dry window.
I mean, that can
Saying if
be
she,
annoying.
yeah, I know. She seems like really interesting if she doesn't talk about religion all the time. I mean, you can mention like you're a missionary recruiter, but I don't know. Just like if you talk about it too much, it's gonna get
It's a
old.
fine line to walk.
Yeah. So next we have Taylor, who is 24 from Idaho, and he is a snowboarder instructor.
He has really pretty eyes, too. They're really
Yeah,
big.
I think Taylor is like the stereotypical millennial boy. He is like attractive. He has a long kind of hair. He is very adventurous and spontaneous. He is like the epitome of this season.
Yeah, I feel like he could go really far, but again, it's one of those things where he's also on the younger end of the spectrum. So after the merge, he might like find himself like pushing against the older people more because he wants to do things more his way. And also, being an instructor in anything can be dangerous in Survivor, I feel like, just because, like, when someone's doing something wrong, you feel the need to, like, help them and correct them,
Yeah,
and, like, that can rub people the wrong way.
yeah, like to always be in like the leadership position can get annoying. Like you don't want like a person to boss you around. You want it to be like a group effort to do something. And Taylor says he loves learning new things and doing new things, which like you said, I don't know. I feel like Taylor could go really far if he plays his cards right. Like if he's willing to work with older people, he doesn't get stuck in like the I'm a millennial vibes that far. And he's like attractive. He seems like, I don't know, but he seems a little ditzy to me.
I don't know. I feel like you can't be ditzy if your job is one of those things where, like, safety is very important. So,
That's true.
I don't know, though.
Yeah,
He
and then
proposed to his girlfriend, but then their wedding didn't go through, so question mark.
uh-oh. Yeah, another red flag here. He says he is most like Woo.
No one wants to be like
Another
Wu.
one.
Why do people like
I don't
Wu
know, like
so
what is wrong?
much?
Maybe it's the hair. Like what is wrong with these people? I was going to like I don't know. I was going to say like their personalities were similar maybe cuz Woo was all like, yo man, and Taylor seems like a yo man kind of dude, but it's like Woo is not someone you really want to compare yourself to in Survivor.
Like, you can say that your personality is like his, but I feel like saying you're going to mimic his strategy is just like a bad idea, as we've already rehashed.
Yeah, so I don't know if like we'll see. Like that's why I was sort of like on Taylor because like he does seem very sporty, but like if you're gonna say stuff like that, like something's up. Next, we have the biggest bop of the season, Will, who is 18 from New Jersey and is a high school student.
It kind of freaks me out that we're the same age as him.
Yeah,
But
like but his voice is so low.
I feel like he
Oh
is
my God,
not going to be able to make it very far in the game just because, like, high schoolers still lack a certain measure of maturity. I feel like that you need to be able to play the game.
yeah, like I feel like me and you right now being 18, like we wouldn't have anything to connect with like older people on. Like you literally just got out of high school, and if you went to a freaking public school, like you're with those people since like kindergarten, so if you don't have to go out of your comfort zone to meet new people, to make new friends, and like talk with new people, and like just his voice is sort of annoying. Like
Yeah,
this boy must have been on like steroids or like puberty hormones because his voice is so low.
I feel like he's either gonna get booted like way before the merge or get booted right after they merge.
Yeah, I see that. Like, I don't know, he could be like goaded to the merge or he could be voted out early because he just gives me bad vibes. But like he seemed like sort of religious, so him and the missionary girl could like form an
Team up.
alliance, but this boy is such a bop. Like that hair, please cut it.
I mean, he went to Haiti to install water filters. So he went on a mission, so he
Man,
definitely could talk to the missionary recruiter.
true. Like he said his inspiration in life though was Jesus and Ronald Reagan. I'm just like, dude, what the heck?
I don't think he's going to get along with well.
I know, and then like for his past Survivor, like most related Survivor question, he says he's like Randy from Gabon and Heroes versus Villains, but that doesn't even count.
You mean the
Like
crotchety old man?
what the hell? Like Randy was just like sad and like angry on the island the whole time. Like did he have a lot of substance and he just fought with sugar the whole time? Like what kind of gameplay is Randy?
Maybe he's just gonna snipe at people.
With that like low ass voice of his, like I don't know, I feel like this boy is like a disgrace for 18-year-olds. He's not going to be like a Spencer Dumb or Julia from last season.
Yeah.
Like man, I'm geeking.
I don't want him on my fantasy team.
No, I do not want him either. I was like literally no, he's gonna be at the bottom of my list for picking. I do not want Will Wall. Okay, so finally we have Zeke. He is he is 28 and from New York, and he is an asset manager, and I love Zeke. He is so quirky, cool, he's funny, like he's just like so personable. I want to be his friend.
He's also an Ivy Leaguer. He went to Harvard. So
I said that, I was like, OMFG, you know, Harvard educated. I think he should probably lie about that also, just like Adam from Stanford, you know, just saying you're from that kind of good school, you know, or just omit it because people are just going to judge you and be like, yo, since you went to such a good school, you got to be smart and strategic and whatnot. And Zeke, like, is really good at debate, like winning a lot of like championships and whatnot. So if he's a good speaker, literally you can like speak your way like on the jury and stuff like that. So like Zeke is going to go far.
he's also like contributed to Rob Has a Website and stuff. So
Yeah, he blogged.
So he knows his way around the game, and I feel like he's a really good choice.
Yeah, and like he's just so funny. He was rolling around in dirty water in his YouTube video, and then he's like makes like these snarky comments against like football players getting knocked in the head a few too many times. Like that is just so funny. Like this guy is making snarky comments like Tyson, and I really like Tyson, so I feel like Zeke is going to be a super awesome dude on the island.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be one of those people that makes it interesting.
Yeah, and I feel like people might underestimate him because, like, low-key, when we first saw that preview at the end of last season, he's in this, like, really, like, out there shirt, and, like, his voice is sort of, like, high-pitched, and, like, you know, people might be like, yo, this guy might be, like, annoying or something, but Zeke seems like such a cool dude.
Yeah. So, on to the Gen Xers.
Eek, all these old people. So, alphabetical order, wow. We'll start with Brett. He is 42 from Massachusetts, and he is a police sergeant.
He looks like he's scary. Like, I would not want to, like, be bowled over by him.
Yo, he sort of looks like Mike from White Collar, No Collar, Blue Collar.
If you squint.
Yeah, but this guy seems like pretty in tune to when people don't tell the truth. So maybe it's like a police thing, like Tony and them. Like I feel like this guy can tell. Yeah, Tony and Sarah. I feel like this guy can tell when you're lying.
Yeah, and being able to tell that in a strategy game is really good. I feel
Yeah,
like
and
with all the flack that cops have been catching lately, he might not be like a fan favorite type person, but
true. Yeah, that's interesting.
he's from
He
Boston.
says,
So
is that good or bad?
I'm just stating a fact. He's from Boston, and the last really notable person from Boston was our best friend, Boston Rob. So maybe they know each other.
He could be Boston Brett.
That's so
Oh
gross.
my. Okay. So Brett says he loves the show. He's seen every season and he's tried out several times. So like low key, this guy is like a super fan and he seems like really cool, really smart. He seems athletic. You've got to be able to run if you're in the police force. And but low key, he sort of looks like Paul Blart Mall Cop.
I see that.
Is that bad to say?
No.
Yeah. Yo, I don't know. He seems like he would have cool stories like from his life. Like I would want to hang out with this dude. I think he's gonna go past the merge.
Yeah, I think he's gonna do pretty well, especially like I feel like his age makes him in a good position for within his own tribe, but I'm not sure how he'll do after the merge.
True. I feel like he could be like a father figure maybe. He looks like he could be a good leader. He just can't be like too overpowering on the leadership stuff, but
Yeah.
I think Brett could be like a father and be like, "Come to me, little chickies. Be in my alliance."
Yeah.
So next we have Chris. He is 38 from Oklahoma and he is a trial lawyer. And I don't know, sort of red flags from the beginning. He kept mentioning like himself as a leader and never a follower.
I feel like the fact that he's ginger, like there's gonna be a lot of people joking about that, and I'm not sure if he's the kind of person that could handle those kinds of jokes.
Oh yeah, his face just looks so stoic. Like he looks like a mean kind of bodyguard person.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. He has some potential, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he needs to tone down the whole leader thing until like after the merge and like you can't be that bossy early on or else I feel like if he's super bossy, he's going to be voted out early because like in his thing, he's like I'm super competitive because I don't lose.
I mean, part of it is he's a lawyer, and lawyers are like notoriously very competitive people. So
True. If he's a lawyer, you know, he has to be able to talk well and like he says he came from nothing so had to work hard. So he does have that like drive and motivation. So I think it really depends on like this leader thing from what we've seen so far. Like he just can't be annoying and bossy or else you're out of there. And then you would have lost.
I feel like he's not going to do very well post merge if he gets there, just because like millennials don't really like being told what to do.
That's true. That is like the thing. Like we go with the whim, you know, we don't like authority, the stereotypical kind of things. So next we have Cece. She is 39 from California and an insurance adjuster. You're right. All these people have like the stereotypical like legit jobs and like all the young kids have like bartender, you know, those kind of things.
Okay, so my uncle's an insurance adjuster, and he's like crazy smart and good at math. So I feel like she's going to be like one of those people that's like, when you look at her, she doesn't look like someone who's particularly like nerdy or studious or whatever. But like insurance adjusters have to be really, really, really good at math. So
They do?
yeah, because like basically what they do is they like look at all the different factors that go into you buying insurance, like your age, previous history, stuff like that. And then they calculate how much you have to pay as an insurance premium based on that.
Okay, that's interesting. Like, yeah, Cece said she was in poverty when she was younger and was like really tough for the fam. and she started working at the age of 14. So like this girl has like independence, drive, motivation, like she's willing to fight for it, and I feel like she can go far because of that.
Yeah, I feel like she's gonna do really, really well.
Yeah, I feel like she's going to make the merge. She like knows how to read people from her job, right?
I mean, not
Like
really.
sort of.
It's just
But I
all
don't.
maths.
Okay. Yeah, she's overcame a lot of adversity, and like people say she's she has multiple personalities, so that could make her like interesting on the island, like if she's like fiery and like personable like that. And like I think she could be like a mother figure also. She seems like
I mean, she has a daughter, and it seems like they're pretty close because, like, she describes herself as a stage mom to her daughter. So I feel like that's one of those things where where, like, if you're supporting your kid, you can be really intense and stuff.
true. Yeah, so I think she's gonna go far. So next we have David, who is 42 from California and a TV writer. David loves Survivor, and he seems really funny. Like you gotta be funny to be a TV writer. And then he says some of this like interesting stuff. He's like, I've only been camping one time. He avoids physical stuff like going outside. He hates the sun. He avoids bars and meeting large groups of people. And I'm like, same though, but I don't know how good that is for Survivor.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things where, like, if you're not good with large groups of people, maybe you shouldn't be on a show that forces you to be with 9 other people 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I feel like he could maybe do like the Sari thing, like, oh my God, leaves. But if he doesn't like do it right, like people are just be like, why the hell is this guy on the island? If he hates the sun, he hates people and large groups, and he hates going outside.
I feel like the best thing about him is the fact that he is one of the, like, Gen Xers with a more, like, millennial type job, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like being a TV writer isn't exactly something you think of when you think of people being, like, responsible.
Yeah, I feel like if he makes it like to a tribe swap or like the merge or something, and he gets with like the younger kids and he can talk about writing for TV, I feel like a lot of the younger kids would be like, yo, I've always wanted to be an actor and like, that seems so cool. So like
Yeah.
that could be something that gets him like brownie points with the young kids. And like good for David, he wants to play the game to like gain self-confidence and rid himself of like self-doubt and stuff. And this guy has got to be smart. His hobby is 3D printing puzzles, so he must be good at puzzles. And he has played against the number one world chess player. So chess is a lot of strategy, I've learned.
Yeah, I feel like that's like, yeah, playing chess is one of those things where you can that can really work to your advantage or it can really not, just because if you get too in your head and you see it as like a game of chess, then you like neglect the people factor, which isn't as good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think David could make it far, if he plays his cards right, if he does rid himself of his self-doubt, if he's confident in talking to people, if he's personable and like willing to go out and talk to the other people on the island, then I think he can make those relationships and vote with people.
Yeah. I feel like he's another one of those people where I don't really know enough yet to like want to say yes or no.
Yeah. So next we have Jessica. She is 37 from New York, and she is a assistant district attorney. And she grew up on a farm, which could be good for Survivor. She like the money was tight, and then she didn't go on any family vacations because they didn't have a lot of money. So I feel like she definitely appreciates everything that she has. She's worked hard to get what she has, and she does a lot of cases against crimes against the elderly.
She could connect with the other lawyer person. They could be
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, like this girl, she said within a 6-year time span, she was married, graduated from undergrad, went to law school, had her first child, passed the bar exam, hired as a prosecutor, and then had her second child. Like this girl is working it,
fierce.
right? you know, and every single like day in her job, she convinces juries to like, you know, make people go to jail and whatnot. So like she's probably has really good speaking skills. Like if she made final tribal, she could work the hell out of that jury.
Yeah, I feel like the issue with her will be getting to the final tribal, just because like I feel like she could be one of those people that comes off a little too strong.
Yeah, I feel that maybe. I don't know. Like I think we need to know more about her also. Because the
Yeah,
only
like,
thing I really got from her was stuff about her job, which doesn't come up that much in Survivor. So I feel like we need more of like their personality and stuff.
yeah.
Okay, so
next up is Kenneth. And
yeah, he is.
You want to
He is sure. Ken, he is 33 from Colorado, and he is a model.
He's a model with a psychology major, which is like a little weird for me.
Yo, I didn't know the psych thing, so maybe like depending on like what field of psych he did, he could be able to like use it on the island.
I feel like psychology is just one of those things where if you have a firm understanding of it, it can be good for you. Because if you understand why people act the way they act, then you can change their behavior.
Yeah. So yeah, Ken mentions the Bible, so he could also go with the missionary girl, and like the like Will Wall is into religion, so you know this guy could like meet up with those people, and says he's never found love until he met his daughter, and then like he's like a single dad that's dating, so he's not going to be an F-boy anymore, but like maybe he'll find love on Survivor, like one of those other girls that are like, I'll flirt with people.
Yeah, I feel like he's one of those people where like models don't really get taken seriously on Survivor.
Yeah.
It could end up being interesting for him.
Yeah, I don't know about Ken. I don't know if he'll make it that far because like he is younger on the Gen X side, you know, he's really attractive, and like all the other old people like have like other like quote unquote legit jobs, and like they're older, have families, and like they might think like being a model isn't like in their group if they're like really into the stereotypes of millennials versus Gen X.
Yeah, like you don't have to work very hard as a model. Models don't really do anything, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I don't know. He might not make it that far, but I guess we'll see. So next we have Lucy. She is 42 from California, and she is a dietitian. And she was a pro bodybuilder at the age of 42. Like this girl is so buff.
I think it's really interesting because like people who have muscles on Survivor, they generally are the ones who like hit the walls the hardest because like muscle requires a lot of energy to upkeep and stuff. So I feel like that might not exactly work in her favor.
That's true. Like I feel like it could go that way, or it could be like the Sydney kind of thing, who was like maybe really buff and like was physically like active, but like then never like won an immunity challenge or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lucy has 4 kids and a husband, and she wants to represent the hardworking moms. And was she the one that like co-authored a book?
Let me see. I don't think so.
No, it was the Playboy model one. Just kidding. But yeah, I think Lucy, she could make it pretty far, maybe like post-merge.
I'm not sure how well she'd do just because like I feel like trying to like empower a specific group of people kind of takes away from the other groups of people. And if she's like, oh, I'm playing for moms everywhere, there's not that many other people on her cast that are moms, because obviously half the people are guys. So
yeah, I think some of the other people have like a lot of kids also. Maybe like she can bond with them or something about like being a hardworking mother. So that could be interesting to see.
Yeah.
People left. We can do it. So next we have Paul, who is 52 from Florida and a boat mechanic. At first, like just looking at him, I was like, this dude has long hair, I'm not really sure. But like after watching and reading his stuff, this guy is in a cover rock band also. I'm like, dang, he traveled the country with his kids and homeschooled them. And I don't know, at first I was like, this dude is really intimidating. He's really big, sort of looks like Santa maybe, but he seems like a people person.
I feel like he's older than the next oldest person by 6 years, and I feel like that might not be good for him, just because he's a little outside their age range. And like Will is only 3 years younger than the next youngest person on his team, so I feel like he might have a hard time like relating with the other people.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, that's so bad. Like, when 52 is, like, literally our parents' ages, like, we could be Will and, like, our dad could be Paul. And, like, they don't even get any older than that, really.
Well, they
I don't
saw
know.
getting it done at 71 looked like last season, so.
Yo. Yo, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Paul, he seems strong and could be good at challenges, but, like, he might be too talkative, like, talking about his rock band days too much, talking about traveling the country too much, and, like, that could be annoying when people, like, brag about everything they've done in their life.
Yeah.
Okay. So next we have Rachel, 37, from California, and she is a recruiting director and book author.
She just like doesn't seem all that interesting to me. That's just me though.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she like doesn't really stand out, but she could make it far because she doesn't really stand out.
She has the like tragic backstory, but I'm not sure if that's like you can't rely on a tragic past to help you get through Survivor. Just because like
Yeah,
everyone kind of has a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, she says like you should do something you're afraid of every day. So I guess she's willing to take risks, Like she co-authored the book about biggest adversities that she's had and like how she overcame them. And maybe her and the model dude could like hit it off since she was a former Playboy model. But yeah, I don't know. She says she competed in chess like competitions since she was 6 years old, so maybe she is strategic, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I don't think we really got a lot from her, like, interview and stuff.
I mean, her book was an Amazon #1 bestseller, so I think that she might already have, like, some moolah for herself already, and if people know that, they might be less willing to give her the million.
True, does Playboy modeling give you a lot of money?
I don't know.
Maybe. I guess. That's, like, a big company. So I don't know. She blends in, I guess. She doesn't really stand out to me.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, so
maybe she'll
finally
surprise
we have...
us.
Yeah, maybe. I hope so. So finally we have Sunday, who is 45 from Minnesota, and she is a youth pastor.
She and the missionary recruiter will get along.
Yo, that's what I wrote down. Good for the missionary girl. Like her, Will, and Ken, they could hit it off talking about religion and stuff. Sunday also has 4 kids, same as Lucy, so they could bond over that. Sunday says she beat breast cancer, so that's like really good for her. But I don't know. I feel like Sunday could be an early boot. She doesn't really stand out to me. And she says she's most like Lisa from the Philippines. But, like, what the hell, Lisa? She made it to the final 3, but, like, she didn't really do much to get there, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like she's going to be another one of those people who are, like, forgettable. I feel like most of the people that we're going to remember from this season are the Millennials, just because they were designed kind of to be more out there.
Yeah, I feel that. A lot of these people do seem like I don't like if you're early out, like we're not going to remember you.
Yeah. So I don't know how I feel about this season as a whole, just because it doesn't seem like there's one clear person where you're like, yes, I want to back this person.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they all kind of feel like slight variations on the same mold.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be interesting to, like, I don't know, like, see how the season plays out. It'll be interesting next week when we do our podcast about, like, picking our prophecy teams, just to see, like, who we actually want on our team to win this game. Like, because some of these people do seem like total bops.
I don't know. I don't think that we picked Michelle that high in the rankings when we were doing our prophecy points team, and I'm pretty sure Aubrey was one of the last people picked, even though she didn't made it really far. So
Yeah, maybe we're just, like, bad at reading people, so I'm sort of, like, trying to not, like, have these, like, preconceptions of how I think people will play and just, like, pick based on, like, what they've been saying.
it's difficult though because we do get so little information.
Yeah, that's true. So it's been like an hour. So, this is a cast assessment. If you have any other, like, requests for videos before the season comes back in, like, a month, sort of, let us know in the comments. And, like, keep commenting. What do you guys think of this season? What do you think of this cast? And, we reply to comments, and we'll read your comments. And, we'll see you guys next time.
Okay, tune in for our prophecy points picking, and we'll see you guys then. Bye.
Yes, thank you for watching.